Hi, this is Charlie giving you Monday's video, and I hope you're very well. I am just going to go over the Forex show, the live trade-off, because people have been asking, how did you get on? I know Sam's emailed me this morning saying, can you mention it? And yeah, on Friday I won the trade-off on Friday afternoon at the London Forex Show, so that was good. But I've said this many times, and it is only over an hour and a half. And during that period, sometimes it's just a case of whether the market sets up in a way that suits your style or not. And then, even if it sets up and does anything, whether it then has a bit of a run or whether it just chops around. I was lucky that the pair that I chose to trade was the dollar CAD, which I'm showing here at the moment. I'll actually take it back to Friday. And I chose dollar CAD to trade because we had, on Friday afternoon, we had dollar news out and we had CAD news out, so I wanted to trade that pair. Now Ali, who I was trading off against, is a good friend of mine. He didn't elect to trade this pair. He elected to trade, I think it was cable. And so for me personally, I was lucky that dollar CAD decided to have a bit of a run. There was a bit of what I call clear air. I'll go through that in a minute with you. But this was around the news here, so we started coming up. Let's just bring the arrows up. So we started coming up here, and I mean I didn't go in until around about 137.96, I think, was I got my entries in. Now, and again, this is what makes it fascinating. If I had access to, I'm working off a laptop, so you can only see so much information, and you're trying to take it all in, where we are and where the price levels are. And also it was on a Wi-Fi connection in the hotel room there, which I was a bit dubious of the Wi-Fi connection. It was fine, it worked, but I didn't know if it was a little bit delayed. It's because you don't have a frame of reference. So in the end, I end up waiting that little bit longer until it got up to 137 into the 90s before I actually bought. Now, realistically, where I should have been buying would have been along this level here, which would have been, well, probably, yeah, about 90 as opposed to 96. So I think I was a little bit late getting in, but because I let it go that little bit further, because I only had, you got one access to just your laptop screen. You're trying to just change all your time frames around, looking at everything, and then thinking, oh right, okay, I better get in. And so I managed to get in with 1 unit initially, then added a second unit, and then a third unit. So the rules were for the trade-off. Let's bring up the pen. It was the usual rules, so it was £25 per point maximum. £25 per pip maximum in that. And so what I do is, because I'm trading in lots, well, each lot is equivalent to around about £6 a pip, then I know I can trade up to 4 units or 4 lots. So I managed to end up getting 3 lots in, all around 3 lots, or so about £18 a point, all around that area there, around about, like I say, 96. And again, I had the opportunity to add a position as it started going up, and I said to the audience that I'd be happy to add to the position as it starts going up. But because you're talking, there's I don't know how many, maybe a couple of hundred people in the room. I don't know how many people are there, and you're talking. You're trying to do all the things you're trying to do whilst keeping an eye on the trade. Ali's talking as well through his stuff, and I think I just missed the opportunity to have added. I should have added, really, by the time we come up to 138.10 area. I should have been adding there. But again, you've only seen one screen at a time. You can't quite see the charts the way that you see them when you've got all your screens at home. So, it didn't matter too much. And anyway, ultimately, the trade ran. And I'd said right from the outset that I was looking for the hourly 200 as a target, and it went straight to this yellow line, and that was the zone that I just basically offloaded. It went a little bit beyond that, so I exited somewhere between, I think one of the units I came out at 30, and then the other two were up, one at 32 and one at 36, or 33 and 36, I don't know, something like that. So up in this zone, it only went up to what, the low 40s by looks of things, and then actually interestingly it found that resistance against that Audi 200, and then I saw that later on that day it just rolled over. So if we actually take the chart, this is the hourly chart, you can see it just rolled over after that. It couldn't penetrate, couldn't break through. Sat around there for what, 2 hours or so, 2 or 3 hours, and then later on in the day I can see rolled over. So it was the right exit. Like I said, I felt I had clear air to run to that level, and then it was a case of just closing it out. So that was the trade. Ali opted to trade the pound versus the dollar, and he was just a bit unlucky. So if we go, if I take us back to a 5-minute chart, and I say he was unlucky because I think, I'm trying to remember now. Oh no, that's overnight. That's last night. So this would have been it, yeah, on Friday. And so pound was coming down. He shorted it, I think, after it broke this level, and so I think, don't quote me on this, but I think I know he shorted it after it broke down. I'm assuming it was here. I don't know if this is the right time. That will be, yeah, that looks like the right time. This is US time on telecharts. And it started coming down for him, so he was doing all right on that. He was up, like, by looks of things, probably around about 20 pips or so, and he was so close to his target down here. He was really close to it. He'd got in at, I think, about £12 a point at that point, and it got really close. I think he only needed another few pips, and it just turned around on him and came up and stopped out. I don't know if it is this point or not. I can't remember on the chart, but I know it was something like that happened. Then it turned around, stopped him out, and then. But did it roll over again later? So look. It looks like it rolled over again later in the day. So again, sometimes it's just a bit, a bit of unluckiness, or whatever you want to call it, on the day. And so I think it's just a bit unlucky there. So Ali got stopped out, and we just had the one trade each, and that was it. I didn't feel the need to take another trade. Ali had got stopped out on his one, so I didn't really feel the need to take another trade. And I think I banked about 540 something pounds on the trade, so it was good. So it was all right. But the main thing was that we both got across the message that it doesn't really matter. It's only an hour and a half to try and trade over. But the main point is that you can see that we're prepared to put our necks on the line and trade live in front of an audience, and we're not fussed about if we were to lose or whatever, because we're traders first and educators second, so to speak. And I think that's the important part there. Whereas there's plenty of other educators out there who wouldn't dare do it because it might, through fear of them not getting new clients and customers, because they'd worry that what customers would think of them if they actually lost. And you think, well, I don't think it really matters. So anyway, so that's that was the trade-off. I realised I'm now 7 minutes, nearly 8 minutes into this video. Looking at the daily charts here of cable, looks like it's got lower to go. Definitely looks like it's going to want to come down and challenge these lows. So obviously after Mr. Johnson has favoured the Brexit campaign, so we got a gap down overnight last night on the pound dollar. That's interesting because we gapped down overnight last night. Again, sometimes it's these little things. I don't think telecharts is going to show it if I go into an hourly chart, but this bar here. That is actually a gap, and it gapped down about 100 pips, I can see, in the market. And I think this is important sometimes when you've got, like with the pound at the moment, if anyone was in swing long positions or whatever, then you've got to, or long, yeah, and you hadn't long been in them, so you don't have a lot of. Let's go back out to a daily chart and put this in perspective. So let's say you decided you swing long from, I don't know, Thursday or even Friday morning, Thursday or Wednesday, and it's coming up. This is Thursday here. It's had a nice push up, and then it's just gapped down on Friday. Going into today. You're going into the weekend when you know there's news coming out about the whole situation. Sometimes you just have to either massively downsize your position so you de-risk your trade that way, or just close out when you know that there's a lot of news coming out over that weekend, which is very, very important in relation to the pound versus the dollar or the pound itself. So I think that was a no-brainer to come out early if anyone was long there. Having said all that, I'm sure there'll be plenty of traders who will be licking their wounds this morning, who will have been long for various reasons and on the pound, only for it to gap down against them. So, but that's trading. Right, I shall leave that with you. Have a great week. Back on Friday.